Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Arif bin Azmi. Number matric 078367. Here I will talk about case study and problem recap for our project algorithm, where our problem is to allocate every classes to classroom or lab, which is we have 70 classes to fit into 50 classes or lab and fulfill the constraint like capacities and facilities. So our goal is to produce a valid timetable that not overlay classes or lab.
Hello, my name is Tayalan Analalaki Ramasamy and my matrix number is 078581. So as for my part for this assignment, I'm going to talk about the summary of our analysis findings between the algorithms. So the algorithm that we chose to pursue with this project is greedy algorithm. We choose greedy algorithm because the balance between performance and the speed is insane comparing to the other algorithms like the brute force and backtracking. And why not the other algorithms like, as I said before, the brute force or the backtracking? Brute force is accurate, but it's not practical for this situation. And if you are going to talk about the backtracking, it is good and better than the brute force, but bad thing for a big data. Since we are using relatively lesser data compared to a big data, so we are not recommended to use the backtracking algorithms. So we are also going to talk about the trade-off between the greedy algorithm and also the brute force algorithm. The greedy algorithm is fast, scalable, but maybe not always optimal for many situations to pursue so. And if you are talking about the brute force algorithm, it also gives the optimum result, but not too much of a heavy process. Next, we are going to talk about the complexity input. So if we are going to see the data classes that we are going to input are 70, and the classes or the lab that we want to use is relatively 50. And finally, if you are going to talk about the analysis case, it's basically an average case. So we can see that this case is more representative of the real world situation, which the greedy algorithm suits better comparing to the others like the brute force and also the backtracking. So yeah, that is all for the summary of analysis findings.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Azabi Aminahar and my matric number is 077487. Okay, so next I want to present about algorithm selection rationale. Okay, here we have two algorithms, greedy algorithm and then brute force backtracking. Okay, in this selection rationale, we choose the greedy algorithm because we have the reason why we choose this algorithm. Okay, first, speed and efficiency. The greedy algorithm works by selecting the best local solution at each step, so it makes faster compared to other methods that evaluate all possible solutions. Okay, next, its suitability for large data. This algorithm is highly effective for large data set since it does not need to exhaustively consider every possibility, unlike backtracking. And then the last one is quick results. While it does not always guarantee the most optimal solution in every case, the approach provides a good balance between accuracy and efficiency. Okay, so next, why we do not choose the brute force backtracking? Okay, first reason is slow for large data set. Backtracking takes significantly more time as it explores all possible paths before finding the best solution. Okay, second is less efficient. Although backtracking is more precise, it's often impractical for large-scale problems due to its high computational cost. And the last is better alternative exists. While backtracking is optimal in certain situations, it is not always the best choice compared to other more efficient algorithms like greedy. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.
Hello again. I'm going to explain the second part of my part in this presentation and also the project. So I'm going to explain about the analysis decisions now. So as I said before, we can see the input sizes which are 70 classes and also 50 classes or lab that is available. So that is the requirement for this requirement for this question. So if we are going to talk about the problem, it also focuses on the challenge of optimizing class class-to-room assignments under the specific requirement. So we can basically say that the challenge is like we are going to optimize the class-to-room assignments, and also it will be under certain circumstances. And the case that we are going to focus on, which is being said average case, which I said before, it also mostly represent the real world situations, hence why we are going to use the greedy algorithm. So the average case is because it represents many of the real situations that happen in timetable and hard to get the best and the worst case. So basically the situation that relies on here, it is always happening in the timetable scenario. So the best case and also the worst case is most likely not to be appeared in this situation, which is why we are going to choose the average case. And about the trade-offs again, fast algorithm execute like greedy can give the result faster than others. So it really gives the result fastly. And the slow algorithm like brute force can give the best result, but not efficient. So we can see that the brute force is giving the best result, but it's not efficient and also it's not fast. Hence why we are going to use the greedy. Even though it is lesser accurate comparing to the brute force, it will help in the time management. And that is all for my part. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rahmi Hakimi bin Muhammad and my metric number is 078717. Now I am to present about process and collaboration management. For this project, we manage our work through teamwork and good communication. First, we divided the task based on a group discussion about what the project needed. Then we set a small goal and the deadline to help us stay on the track. Each group member give regular update and made sure to complete their own tasks on time. When we had a different opinion, for example, when choosing the right algorithm, we talked about it as a group and found a solution together. Throughout the project, we always respected each other and worked in a friendly and cooperative way to finish the project successfully.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fikri bin Muhammad Musa. Number metric 078366. Now I will present the last part of this presentation, which is overall recommendation. Throughout our study, we test and evaluate each method, which is greedy, graph coloring, branch and bound, backtracking, and brute force against key criteria, which is time complexity, space complexity, and trade-off between time and space. First of all, we found that greedy algorithm perform very well when speed is a priority. It is simple and scalable, which is make it suitable for quick decision making. However, as we observe in our test, it doesn't always produce optimal result, especially in complex conflict scenario. Next is graph coloring algorithm. Graph coloring algorithm stood out in our analysis for scheduling tasks. It effectively prevents overlaps by ensuring unique time slot or resources, and it performs particularly well with medium-sized problem. Our group agree with this method offer the best trade-off between efficiency and conflict avoidance. Next is branch and bound algorithm. This algorithm was recognized for its intelligent pruning of less promising solution. It provides better accuracy than greedy, but still require more processing time for moderately complex problem where solution quality matter. This method is highly suitable. Next, backtracking guarantees accurate solution by exploring all valid combination in a structured manner. However, it becomes extremely low when applied to a larger problem. In our analysis, it worked well for small to moderate dataset, but did not scale well for practical deployment. In the other hand, brute force check every possible solution without any optimization and pruning. While it provides the most accurate answer, it is less efficient. So our group determined that brute force is not a viable option for real world use unless the problem size is extremely small and accuracy is more important than speed. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening. We believe this recommendation will reflect a thoughtful balance of theory and practical testing in the real world problem. That's all from us. Thank you.